Orange here, welcome back to another video. TOA hard is cleared for the month of July, and I have the footage for you guys, so let's go ahead and play it. This is my third ever clear of TOA hard, and my third consecutive clear, so my runes are still kind of like in that zone where they're not super good, so they're still pretty close to, like first time clear. But if anyone is curious to see my runes for the first clear, the video of my first clear will be linked below. And then the runes are in that video description, and then as always I will have the runes that I'm using in this video linked down below too. So if you guys want to see my newish runes, then feel free to check out the Imgur album. It will be below. This time around, this floor was a lot simpler than last time, mainly because I knew what to do. So that was the main thing, and then like I said, my runes did improve slightly, so that also kind of helped. Yeah, last time I made a huge mistake on the final boss and hit him with every single monster that I had, and I didn't really realize how his healing mechanic worked. Like, the way it's phrased is really weird, but I think overall he heals like a flat amount or something. I have no idea, honestly, but what I did was I only hit him, the boss, with my Spectra and my Hua and sometimes my Beretta when I needed to, so that was pretty much all I hit him with, and it went a lot smoother. I just hit him with my big damaging abilities pretty much and the attack bar reset, so he wasn't healing nearly as much and the boss fight went a lot faster. So that was good. Last time around, I also didn't include the first two waves for you guys because I kind of forgot. Like, I didn't know that they were as hard as they were, and I kind of forgot to record them, and then afterwards I kind of regretted it, but this time around we have them, so here's my team clearing the first two floors. For the first one, I killed the succubuses first. As you guys see, in my opinion, they're more dangerous than the sylphids because the succubuses have, like, a sleep. Let me read their skills. The sleep hard CC, I've always been saying, is like kind of like the death of your team. If they hard CC something that you need to have up, then it can be very bad. Sleep being sleep is like sort of a hardish CC, but they can of course damage you out of it. So the succubuses have a sleep on their first, which will also boost their attack gauge, giving them more turns, which is very bad. You guys can kind of figure it out. The succubuses, their second skill will transfer harmful effects on them to you, which can be bad if they choose the defense break or the slow. And then because I don't have a cleanser, so that can be very bad. And then their third skill, HP, disturbs your HP recovery, which is also, again, bad because you don't have a cleanser. On my team, I don't. So I went for them first because they were more dangerous. Then the sylphids kind of do some weird stuff. The main thing that I had to worry about the sylphids doing was their buff, and all I had to do was seize it off of whatever target I was targeting at that moment, because the sylphids put up a buff that reduces the chance to crit, and my Verd needs to be critting, right? So I need to seize that off of whatever I plan to hit, and then my Verd will be critting more than he would if they had the buff on them to prevent him from critting so much, or, make him not crit so much. So that's what I did. Killed the succubuses first. I tried to lock everything down as best as possible, and then you'll see me kind of spreading out my attack bar resets and my Hua pushbacks if I can spare it. And that's what I did a couple of times here. I also make some mistakes. I should always be throwing out my Beretta's first skill on non-CC targets to try to proc that despair chance, but I messed up a little bit somewhere in there. I watched this video before and I did mess up a couple times. So there are some things that I could have, tightened up to make it a more clean run, but I made some mistakes, I was playing a little loosey-goosey, so if you guys are struggling, there are some things that you can always improve on. Maybe you guys aren't making as many mistakes as me, but yeah, if you're watching my run, don't do what I do. And then after these sylphids are dead, we move on to the second wave. The second wave, I would say, is more RNG based and a little bit more difficult than the first wave, but it's not that hard. It may require a couple times. I think when I first did this boss, it required more times than this one, but once you know the strategy, just stick to it and always do the highest percentage play you can, and you should be able to get good RNG eventually. That's what I have to do, This is never 100% for me. A lot of people use the team that I use to beat this boss, and I'm sure for all of them, it's never 100%, and you just need to get that RNG. So eventually, once these dots tick off, we will move along, and then I will get into the strategy. Okay, so for the second wave, I focused down the Valkyrias first because they do have a defense break, and if they put the defense break on you, it's almost certain death. Once again, throwing out the Despair Stun when possible, spreading out my resets and pushbacks when possible. The Death Knights do quite a bit of damage, but it's not anywhere near as dangerous as the Valkyrias, so you'll see me really working on this Valkyrias, and I was talking about this in my last couple videos, but you'll see me spreading out my defense break when I can, because I will most likely be hitting multiple targets, and that little bit of damage could be the difference between a successful run and a failed run. Even if it's just, a little bit of damage each turn, that could be, like on that last turn, if you hadn't done that extra 400 damage, maybe they kill you. So you'll see me kind of spreading it out, but of course, over-debuffing in TOA hard is something that you don't want to do, but it shouldn't be that hard to manage your debuffs on these floors, because you don't really have that many. But yeah, that's something they have to be aware of. Some of these units you won't be able to stun them because they have too many debuffs, so don't do that. Don't over debuff them if you are looking to get a stun or something like that. Like, if that really only applies to different floors when you're using like Vero and stuff like that. So you guys will see me slowly working on the Valkyrias. There is a really close save in here. You don't need this good RNG though. This is just the run that happened to have the really close save in it. And a thing that I have to tell you guys about this close save is that my advice is don't give up when you're not sure if it's over, I guess, because, well, I played League of Legends before I played Summoner's War. That was like, some people who played League introduced me to Summoner's War, and when I played League, I met a lot of people who, like, would give up and stuff, like, especially in solo queue, a lot of people would rage quit and just not come back because they thought it was lost, or probably mainly because they were, like, tilted, I guess. And in Summoner's War, sometimes you can pull out wins, like, see right here, it looks almost doomed, but I managed to pull out a win, even if it's based on RNG. Like, even if I need the best RNG in the world, I might actually get it. So why not just try it, right? It won't take that long. I mean, if something was like a bigger waste of time, then maybe you might want to quit. If you have to, I don't know, I'm getting too far into it. So you'll see me recovering, and then I will be stalling out as much as possible to try to get like a couple more heals on myself before we approach the boss. With my team, I am not going to let the boss move at all, so I don't necessarily need my heal like immediately, but I will eventually, because you guys know when you hit the boss, he does damage to you, so I will need that heal eventually, but it's not super necessary that I need it like first or second turn when I hit the boss, when I actually get to the boss level. So right here I'm finishing off the Conrads, and then the final Valkyria, and then we move on to the boss, which went a lot cleaner than last time because I knew what to do. So I will go over everything with you once we finally hit the boss, after these dots tick and after I do a little bit more damage to this Valkyria here. I will probably keep using this same team for this final boss because it's what I know works, and I always like to stick with what I know. But there's one thing that I want to change next time. I don't know if I said this before, but I think I can put my Hua on speed HP attack, because I think like from watching these first two waves, I felt pretty safe. And I think it'll help speed up the boss a little bit, but I can always fall back on that safer strategy if necessary, if the attack rune isn't really working out. So this time around, I think I ran her speed, defense, HP. I'm pretty sure that's what I ran her, but the runes are in the description in case you guys want to check. So we are moving on to the final boss now, and my strategy is the only thing that really exists right now on this boss floor for me is the boss and the right crystal. Those are the only things I need to think about, and I need to make sure that neither move ever. So I will be focusing my Hua and my Beretta on the boss and the right crystal to make sure they don't get any turns. And then once again, you guys will notice the boss heals a little bit when you hit him. So I will only be hitting him with my abilities that do the most damage. So And, you know, I'm kind of forced to hit him with my Beretta and my Hua, even though they may not be doing much damage at all. Because I told you guys my Hua is rune speed defense HP, I think. It's either speed defense HP or speed HP defense. So I'm kind of forced to hit the boss with her to help keep the pushbacks going, which is totally okay, but I'm going to avoid hitting the boss with everything else because you guys will notice, like, every time I hit the boss, you'll see his HP bar gets, like, healed a little bit. That's something to kind of pay attention to. So I only hit him with, like, the super hard-hitting abilities. I don't know how his heal works. Like, I don't know if it's flat. I read the skill, and it sounds like it's not flat. It sounds like he heals, like, according to how much damage you do or something, but it's really weird. It looks like it's kind of like a flat sort of heal. I could be wrong, but it could be, like, he could just have so much HP that it's hard to tell. I honestly don't know, but that's what everyone's told me to do. Last video, some people told me, like, you're doing it wrong, so I had to add in the, like, annotation, like, I'm totally doing this boss wrong, guys. Don't do it the way that I'm doing. And then I finally fixed it this time, so now I know what to do to speed up the run and make it more clean and faster, because of course we have to do the higher percentage play, and crashes are a very real thing for me. I don't know if it's just iOS users or what, but I crash quite a bit, like at least once a day, probably on average twice a day. So, you know, if I can just do those small things to make the run faster, that'll make it so I'm not in this for a long time, and I probably won't crash. So, I don't know. Random thing. That's kind of the whole strategy. Just hit everything besides your main damage dealers, which in my case are Hua, Beretta, and Spectra, and your pushbacks on the boss. And I, of course, defense broke him first turn to get that defense break on so I can increase my damage. And then that is pretty much it. That's everything I have to tell you guys for this boss. I think it actually got close a couple times here, but not really close at all. The three pushbackers, like Spectra, Hua, and Beretta, just make it like almost 100% that you will definitely land your pushbacks, and my Verd makes me move so much that I will pretty much, even if I miss all three, that next turn I should be able to kind of recover and catch up and stuff like that. So with my team, I should probably never ever fail landing all three of my pushbacks, especially with my Verd boosting my attack bar. So yeah, I think that's it. So I will talk about some other stuff, I guess, while we watch me slowly kill the boss. So like I was saying, this is my third consecutive clear of TOA hard. I feel like I sound like a douchebag when I say that, but yeah. This TOA hard was quite a bit easier than the last two, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that and see how it goes over time, because if we look back at all of my TOA normal videos from Path to Decency episode 2, like, when was it? I think January was the first time that I recorded TOA hard, maybe it was February. So if we look from then to now, what's that, 9, or no, that's how long I've been playing. It's like been like 7 months or something like that, 6 or 7 months since I first cleared TOA normal, and if we look back at that, we can see definitely over time it gets a lot easier, and it's just really based off of rune quality for TOA normal, so we will have to see if that's also the case for TOA hard, but we will have to take into account the monsters I have. So you guys know I do use some monsters that are kind of hard to get for TOA hard, as we're looking at Verd and Hua right now. So I do use Verd, Hua, Thrain, Brienne, Chisoon. I think that's it, if I can recall. Those 5 monsters I use for TOA hard to help me pass all the floors. So I have all of the tools I really need, and then we will have to see if rune quality helps improve that over time and makes it easier overall. This clear was a lot faster. Like, I cleared this boss, like, when did TOA reset? Last week or something, but I didn't spend that long at all doing TOA hard. Let me take a drink. My throat's, like, really dry. Alright. Now that I'm quenched. So, I was just saying, like, we'll have to see how it goes, and then if it ends up being a lot easier, then I can say, like, to my viewers and stuff, it'll get easier as your rune quality improves, and this is kind of what you should be looking at as you're clearing TOA hard month to month. The speed increases and stuff like that. Eventually, I think I will be able to auto most of it. This time around, I did auto most of it, but there were still some of those levels that I had to manual. I think I started manualing at maybe like 60 something, and then some levels even in between, like even in the 70s, I was able to auto some of those. I think I may have been mixing up my auto and manual terms. I'm sorry if I did. There may have been one in there. But yeah, like I autoed most of it, that's what I was saying, and then had to manual just like a couple levels, like once I started getting pretty high up. And I don't think everything is autoable, but I think it's close. Like, I haven't actually looked into that. On Reddit, I did hear a lot of people say that you can pretty much like auto the whole thing as long as you have like, you know, Brienne and Arya, as long as your rune quality is good. So that'd be nice if that's true, because I do have those monsters, and that'd be super nice if I can just auto TOA hard until the boss, because even on TOA normal, I still have to manual Lyrith. On normal, I can auto this boss, but Lyrith I had to manual because it just wasn't working out, so... Actually, maybe it was, but maybe I just wanted to do it quickly. So, I don't know, I can't remember, but... Actually, yeah, it just happened like a week ago. I can't remember, but... Either way, manualing on normal would be faster for the boss, so... We will have to see in time. Only time will tell what's going to happen with TOA hard. Some of the levels, like, in between still give me a lot of trouble, like the Jolteon level and the Kume levels. Those give me a lot of trouble. This month, I'm still in Dragons, working on improving my Violent runes. So all of my main, like, Tier 1 Violent users are pretty good, and you guys know Violent is probably the best rune set in the game, and a lot of monsters want Violent, especially monsters who you should use in TOA hard and who I use in TOA hard. So a lot of these monsters could be improved. Like my Bella can be improved very easily. I just have to, you know, get the drops and stuff like that and then power them up. I'm looking at improving my Bella. Who else? Mav. I use Mav like a lot. Even Spectra, because he's kind of, you know, sitting on some runes that Bernard doesn't need, so I can always improve him. I might actually re-rune him eventually to make him more, like, damagey. So there's, like, a lot of stuff I can work on in the next couple months to make my runs cleaner and faster, and then save time. So then I can get back to farming and not get anything. I'm just kidding. I usually get a lot of runes from farming, actually, because my runes are pretty bad, so... I mean, at least I feel that way, because I usually don't find upgrades on, like, my main monsters. Like, on Vero, I usually rarely find an upgrade, but if I do get, like, a pretty good rune, or, you know, a decent one, it usually can upgrade something, like, you know, Velajewel or Bella or something like that. So that's always good. I'm also, anyone who's still watching, I guess, I think I will buy those 2 packs that came out. I'm just thinking of random stuff to talk about. TOA released the, like, intermediate packs again or something, and they're actually a really good deal. I did the math on it, and, you get, like, 2 legendary scrolls, and then you get 1 from the other one, so 3 total. I will most likely be buying both packs, and I think in the United States, they cost $80, one's $50 and one's $30. So I will most likely be buying those, and then I also have this scroll to open. I'm not going to open this scroll in this video, but it should be in one of the other videos. And you guys know my past couple summonings in my Path to Decencies have been very bad, and I haven't gotten anything useful, not even skill ups. I'm really looking for like a Nat 5 at this point, but I know it's probably going to be like a Water Hell Lady or something. And watch me, I'm going to have to go back to this video and be like, yeah, like in that video I totally called it, and I did get a Water Hell Lady. I actually don't know if she's any good, but I know she's not, you know, one of the good Nat 5s, but she could be useful, so I could just be totally wrong, and maybe I could actually use her. But I already have a Theo and a Sig, so a Water Nuker is not something that I'm really looking for right now, but she could be good, I don't know. So I'll have to figure out when I'm going to open those packs, because this is pretty much like a once-in-a-lifetime sort of like deal, you know? It's 2 cents per crystal, 2.2 cents per crystal and 2.4 cents per crystal, whereas the $5 packages are 1.6 cents per crystal, so it's pretty close. But of course the $5 packages would be more worth it as long as you're willing to buy those for like a long period of time. But the thing is, if the legendary scrolls pay off and give you something good, then that would probably be more worth it. But the legendaries are pretty much a gamble. So we will have to see how that turns out whenever I decide to do that video. Probably later in the week, because today I've done so many TOA hard videos, I'm kind of like, you know, burned out for today for making videos. So probably later this week I will, you know, prepare myself for opening all of my scrolls and stuff like that. I was thinking I'll do like a separate video instead of doing them in Path of Decency. So, cause like that'll be kind of more fun, you know, like one video with everything in it, all the summons, rather than, you know, like here's Path of Decency and then we're doing all these big summons at the end. I don't know, I'll have to figure it out. So look forward to that if you guys are waiting to see that on my channel. Probably later this week. Maybe this weekend, maybe next week. I can't really give you an exact date, but the pack expires in like 8 days, so I'll have to buy it before then. And you guys know I've been pretty much free to play this whole time, so this is like my first big spend. I've spent $35 so far, so then 35 plus 80, 105. Wait, would that be 115? I think that's right. So I will have to add that new amount to my, whatever you call it, about section and my Twitch page. I keep track of like all of like my milestones and money spent and stuff like that, so I will go ahead and add that in whenever I buy those packs. Hopefully they pay off. I will probably be using all those crystals to farm runes, and I don't think I'll buy any premiums or anything like that, but I'll have to think through that, but I don't think it's a good idea to buy premiums. That's just me. So here we go, we'll redeem the legendary scroll, and then I'm just gonna go back here and like look at the chat real quick. So I'll show you guys the official chat, I don't know, just for fun. And I was checking to see how many scrolls I had to summon, and I think overall it like wasn't that many. Yeah, because I already did my TOA normal summons in my last Path of Decency last week, so yeah. I'm still kind of waiting for like a good exclusive summoning rotation to summon for. I think I might just be going for Nat 5s at this point, but like I said to you guys, there are still a couple of Nat 4s that I still want. I want one more Lucian and Orion for sure. Then after that, it's kind of like whatever. Then I could go for Nat 4 skill ups or for Nat 5s, but I'm kind of going for Nat 5s, but I still haven't totally decided. I did summon for the Zyros TOA rotation and got nothing, so I did go for those Nat 5s 2 weeks ago or something, so I'm gonna have to keep seeing what I feel like doing, or what's the best option. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys hopefully in the summoning session when I summon those intermediate packs, so I will catch you guys later.